China has a plan worth nearly $1 trillion, not for a single skyscraper or a new railway line, but to merge 9 mainland cities plus Hong Kong and Macau into one connected giant super city. It sits on China's southern coast, around the mouth of the Pearl River Delta. On the map, it looks like a cluster of cities packed close together: Hong Kong, Macau, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and several others. But the Chinese government doesn't see them as separate dots. It sees them as pieces of a larger puzzle that, once fitted together, could form one of the most powerful metropolitan regions on Earth. The numbers give you a sense of scale. This region covers about 56,000 square kilometers, roughly the size of West Virginia in the United States, or twice the size of Wales in the UK. Inside that area live more than 70 million people. That's more than the population of France, all concentrated in a coastal zone you can cross by train in just a couple of hours. China is calling this the Guangdong-Hong Kong-Macau Greater Bay Area. The name is not random. It's modeled after other global hubs like Tokyo Bay or San Francisco Bay, both known for combining multiple cities into powerful economic engines. The goal is to make China's Bay Area compete on the same stage, and possibly surpass them. Economically, the Greater Bay Area already produces around $2 trillion of GDP a year, putting it on par with entire countries like Canada or Italy. So what exactly makes this cluster of cities so important, and why spend so much to tie them together? That's where we need to start, by looking at what's actually inside this region and what each city brings to the table. The Greater Bay Area includes 9 mainland cities in Guangdong Province, plus the 2 special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau. Individually, these cities are already strong. Shenzhen is a tech powerhouse, home to Huawei, Tencent, and DJI. Hong Kong is one of the world's top financial centers. Guangzhou has been a major trading hub for centuries. But on their own, they can't match the combined strength of global regions like Tokyo Bay, New York, or Silicon Valley. China's leaders believe that if you tie these cities together, economically, physically, and socially, you get an integrated region that can compete directly with the biggest hubs on the planet. In other words, it's not just about bigger numbers, it's about making the whole region operate like one giant economic machine instead of a collection of smaller engines. There's also a strategic angle. Hong Kong and Macau still operate under the one country, two systems model, with their own currencies, laws, and borders. By physically and economically linking them to mainland cities like Shenzhen and Guangzhou, Beijing hopes to ensure their long-term growth is tied more closely to the mainlands. It's a way of keeping the region stable and competitive at the same time. And then there's efficiency. Without coordination, each city builds its own airports, ports, industrial parks, and tech zones. By planning together, they can share resources instead of duplicating them. A factory in Dongguan might be supplied by tech developed in Shenzhen, financed by Hong Kong, and shipped through Guangzhou, all without friction if the system works as intended. The vision is simple to state. Make the Greater Bay Area a supercharged economic zone that rivals the world's most advanced regions. The challenge is turning that idea into a functioning reality. And that's where history comes in, because this plan has been in motion for more than a decade. The roots of the plan go back more than 15 years. In 2008, China's central planners floated a bold idea: merge the 9 mainland cities of the Pearl River Delta into one vast urban cluster. At the time, it sounded ambitious, even unrealistic, but it wasn't just talk. The government started mapping out how to integrate transport, industry, and resources across the region. By the mid-2010, the concept had grown into a national priority. In 2017, Guangdong Province, Hong Kong, and Macau signed agreements to coordinate their development strategies. The following year, the State Council gave the project its official name, the Guangdong-Hong Kong-Macau Greater Bay Area. Then came the turning point. In February 2019, Beijing released the Outline Development Plan, the master document that spelled out what the GBA should look like by 2035. It covered everything: a connected high-speed transport network, shared innovation hubs and research institutions, coordinated ports and airports, stronger ties between Hong Kong's finance and Shenzhen's technology. The blueprint also identified more than 150 major infrastructure projects, with early estimates putting the price tag at over 2 trillion yuan, around $320 billion. Over time, that figure grew, and when you add up all the planned projects, investments, and new zones, the total is expected to approach the $1 trillion mark. What sounded like a futuristic vision in 2008 has now become a structured roadmap backed by laws, budgets, and construction crews. And the next step in understanding the Greater Bay Area is looking at the cities themselves, the players that make up this massive merger. To understand what this megacity really means, you have to look at the players that make it up. Hong Kong. About 7.5 million people, one of the world's top financial hubs, and a city that operates on its own legal system and its own currency. It's where international capital flows in and out of China, and that gives the Greater Bay Area a global edge. Macau, much smaller at 700,000 people, but it's a heavyweight in tourism and casinos. Beijing wants Macau to diversify into tech and finance, and being tied into the Bay Area makes that easier. Guangzhou. With roughly 15 million residents, it's the historic trading heart of southern China. For centuries, it's been the gateway for goods coming in and out of China, and today it's still a manufacturing and commerce powerhouse. Shenzhen. Around 13 million people now live here. 40 years ago, it was a fishing village. Today, it's China's Silicon Valley, home to Huawei, Tencent, DJI, and thousands of startups. It's where most of the region's tech innovation happens. Dongguan. The industrial engine. Its factories supply the world with electronics, clothing, and machinery. Many of the parts in your phone or laptop probably passed through Dongguan at some stage. Foshan. Famous for manufacturing too, from ceramics to appliances and part of Guangzhou's metropolitan area. It's also known in pop culture as the home of Bruce Lee's martial arts heritage. Zhuhai. A coastal city right next to Macau, known for tourism, some tech, and increasingly for being a bridge, literally and figuratively, between the mainland and Macau. Huizhou. A growing industrial hub with electronics factories and petrochemical industries playing a quieter but important supporting role. Zhongshan. Known for light manufacturing, especially in electronics and lighting, and historically famous as the hometown of Sun Yat-sen, the founding father of modern China. Jiangmen and Zhaoqing. Smaller compared to the giants, but both are expanding, with industries ranging from paper and textiles to new energy and logistics. Together, these 11 cities form a region with enormous diversity. Finance, tech, tourism, factories, and trade ports all sitting side by side. And when you link those roles together, you get an economy that's far more powerful than the sum of its parts. But merging cities on paper is one thing. To actually make them feel like one connected place, you need massive physical infrastructure. And that's where China has already started building on a scale few countries can match. Infrastructure is the backbone of the entire plan. One of the flagship projects is the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. At 55 kilometers long, it's the world's longest sea crossing bridge. Opened in 2018 at a cost of over $18 billion, it cut travel time between Hong Kong and Zhuhai from about 4 hours to under 1. Then there's the Guangzhou-Shenzhen-Hong Kong Express Rail Link. This high-speed rail corridor connects Hong Kong directly to China's national high-speed rail grid. A trip from Hong Kong to Guangzhou, which used to take 2 to 3 hours, now takes just 47 minutes. That effectively shrinks the region, making daily cross-border commuting a realistic option. Beyond these headline projects, the government has mapped out more than 150 major infrastructure projects. These include new expressways crisscrossing the delta, expanded metro systems linking cities like Shenzhen and Dongguan, and coordinated airport strategies between Guangzhou, Hong Kong, and Shenzhen so they complement rather than compete with each other. The goal is to build what officials call a one-hour living circle. A network where any 2 points in the Greater Bay Area can be reached within an hour by fast transport. All of this construction is transforming the Pearl River Delta into a single, tightly knit metro area. But the Greater Bay Area is about more than concrete and steel. To really merge 11 different jurisdictions, China also needs to integrate economies, policies, and even daily life. Bridges and trains may link the cities physically, but it isn't meant to be just a transport project. To work as a single region, the economies, policies, and even people's daily lives also need to connect. One example is the Qianhai Cooperation Zone in Shenzhen. It's a special district where Hong Kong and Shenzhen businesses are encouraged to partner, combining Hong Kong's financial expertise with Shenzhen's technology and manufacturing. On the other side of the delta, Hengqin Island is being developed to help Macau branch out beyond casinos into finance, healthcare, and research, supported by nearby Zhuhai. There are also steps to make working across borders easier. Hong Kong and Macau residents can now apply for residence permits in mainland cities, giving them access to schools, healthcare, and housing. Cross-border travel has been simplified with new permits and commuter passes. In finance, programs like the Stock Connect and Wealth Management Connect allow investors in Hong Kong, Macau, and Guangdong to move money and investments more freely across the region. Education and research are part of the plan too. Universities in Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou have launched joint laboratories and student programs. Hospitals are testing ways to share medical records across borders, so a patient in Macau could get treatment in a Shenzhen clinic more seamlessly. These changes may sound technical, but they are what make the Greater Bay Area more than just a set of highways. They turn 11 jurisdictions into a region where talent, capital, and ideas can move almost as freely as within a single city. Of course, all of this costs money, and the next question is whether the nearly $1 trillion being poured into this project is actually worth it, and what kind of economic return China expects. The Greater Bay Area already produces an economy of about $2 trillion each year. If you treated it as a country, it would rank among the world's top 10 economies. And that's before the integration is even complete. By 2030, projections show the GBA could reach a GDP of $2.5 to $3 trillion, with a population climbing toward 80 million people. That would make it one of the largest urban economies on Earth, putting it in the same league as the Tokyo Bay Area, long considered the world's most powerful metro region. The logic is simple. Better infrastructure and unified policies mean less wasted time and more efficient trade. If a company can design a product in Shenzhen, finance it in Hong Kong, manufacture it in Dongguan, and ship it out of Guangzhou, all in a single day, that kind of speed directly translates to economic growth. Of course, such massive investment isn't just about GDP, it's also about long-term positioning. For China, the Greater Bay Area is a way to anchor global finance, technology, and manufacturing in one integrated region. It's part economic bet, part strategic insurance. The bigger question now is what it means for the rest of the world. If China can pull this off, the Greater Bay Area could become a new center of global finance, technology, and manufacturing, redefining what we mean by a city in the 21st century. If it struggles, it will stand as a warning about the limits of large-scale integration. Either way, the world will be watching closely, because what happens in the Greater Bay Area won't just change southern China, it could reshape the global urban map. So what do you think? Can 11 very different cities actually work as one? Or is this project simply too ambitious to succeed?